Go on, Rog. Telegram on laptop.
Yeah, I've downloaded it and it's start messaging. I've got on.
So you downloaded it.
Yeah.
It should. There should be. It should just let you put your +44 in and then your phone number.
Yeah.
Country. And what you do is it'll send you a. It should send you a message which you have to confirm on your phone before it lets you log in. So yeah, so that noise was me getting an alert on my Telegram app here. So there's my login code. So have you got Telegram on either on your phone or anything like that?
It's on the PC. Hang on. All right, got you.
So that's it in the browser now.
Yep, I've got it. Okay, thank you.
It is useful. I seldom use it on Telegram on my phone, to be honest. I really enjoy using it on the PC because then I'm just like copy paste straight in there. It's really helpful.
Yeah.
Awesome tool, Telegram. Hi, Neil. All right, how are we doing it, guys? Been a busy week so far. Plenty to look at. James is happy. Martin's happy, I think, from what I've read. Neil fairly happy with GN, I guess. Not so much New Zealand USD, but with some.
Yeah. Swings and roundabouts. I actually closed it out, to be honest. I'm just logging in now. So.
Cut your loss.
On the NU.
Yeah.
I was already stopped out of that.
Oh, you took your profit on GN.
Yeah, I fired a wrinkle reversal fired at me, so I just closed it.
That's why take profit points are just as important as entry points.
Yeah.
Wrinkle reversal. It has started retracing now. I don't know whether it's going to be a long-term retracement, but it's certainly started going up. What about you, Jack? Have you took anything out?
I haven't touched it. I took half a position out earlier today when I was a bit concerned about a bit of a wick on the left. GN says. And then it just plummeted through. So I took half my position out there, and I re-entered when it retested the kind of
so
883 something.
So there's interesting position where it is now actually, because it's just retraced back up to this point where we've got these wicks and these closes. Be interesting to see what happens here. So, if I'm not telling you what to do, James, but if I was in this trade at this point, I'm looking at this line and I'm saying, rejection. I'm saying I'll hold it as long as it's below it. It's sort of similar to this, whereas the trade is sell it because it's below the line, right? Staircase, it's fairly standard. When it comes to taking profit, for me, it's something like that. If it pushes above, like in a bullish manner, then it's probably going in for either a deeper retracement of structure, in which case you can hold it if you want, or it's reversing. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do. But I like to do exactly what you've done, as in give myself a take profit point, as in close half the trade, and then watch what the next bit's doing. I'm a two range trader generally. I want that range, and then I want the next one. I find that if I try and hold it longer, often you'll get the deeper retracement, and it pisses me off. So I found that being a two range trader is what I like to do. So I might be looking for maybe another short where it is. It's unlikely, but if I'm looking at that second range, I'm taking this box now, and I'm pulling that across, and I'm saying, if it goes down here, that's my second range, and then I'm done pretty much, because that is a strong reversal point.
Yeah. probably find out by the morning,
Maybe,
by tomorrow morning.
maybe, but you know, sometimes you just got to believe in that the trend is your friend. So many trades, past 2 ranges, I found so many just have a deeper retracement, something like this, and it just pisses you off. So, so I like to do 2 ranges. That's just sort of my style. But
Well,
yeah, I mean,
like new to me. I'm just so pleased it's gone well. I've got to take a second entry, and even that, you know, just
don't get too pleased because then
yeah,
you're
I know.
devastated when you see red again.
Yeah,
There's 2 colours. You'll see the red one more than the blue one, probably.
I know.
So,
I have a fair share of red.
well, so we all have. But the thing is, what you've done is you've realised there's a problem. You've found a potential solution, and now you're trading that solution. And if it's going to be consistent, you're not going to know after 1 trade. You're not going to know after 5 trades. You're going to know after at least 50. Is that with the V4 back testing? It was always going to be 50 trades at least. I've got to 50. I'm like, where's the retracement? So I'm going to do 100 now because at this point in time, it's sort of gone too well.
Yeah.
So I need to see some inconsistencies before I can either adapt or trade it live, because there's a sense of it being.
You want to feel invincible.
Yeah. I sort of don't want to feel invincible with it as well, because if it looks that good, it's going to make me take trades that probably I shouldn't be taking. So it's weird to say I'm waiting for losses, but I just want to see if it's a proper strategy. A proper strategy doesn't just win, it loses as well. You know, V4's lost, I think, 8 or 9 trades, but the compounding factor of it is just astronomical. So I don't want to get ahead of myself too much. I'd rather wait a bit longer, just get some more analysis before I push forward with it. I'm quite happy with that. Especially if the returns are as good as it looks, then I don't need to rush. You know what I mean? It's not a rushing game. Trading is not a rushing game, as you know yourself now, James. It's not a rushing game. You know, I'm just enjoying my fish and looking at V4 and going through what if I looked at on the overview. Is there anything that hits a supply demand point? If there is, let's look at how that lasted. If it goes 2 blocks, we'll break even. If it goes more than 2 blocks, I'll be in profit. And that's as simple as it is. It's just picking one point on a map, on a chart, and saying what's going to happen there, and then just going with it. And it's powerful. All right, what else is going on? No, silence. Rachel, you all right? Not seen you for a while. I might do some look at some of these setups on V4, because I've done the V3 ones today in the Telegram, and quite a lot of good trades actually. I'm not sure V4 will be as good this week, but you look at what we had. Now, bear in mind, I mean, I don't usually have a list as long as this. There was just a lot of potential decent trades this week. I mean, USD Swiss franc sort of gone in the right direction a little bit. New Zealand USD, potentially a stop out and maybe not a double top anymore. Same with AUD USD, you know, may not happen. GU went short, nice, but that's what we're looking for. GA went short, which was nice. EA went short, which was nice. AUD Swiss franc didn't play out. CAD yen didn't give us confirmation. CAD Swiss franc is at the point now, but looks like it might be pushing through. AUD CAD is just a bag of nails, really. Pound Swiss franc went short, which is what we're looking for. Pound New Zealand went short. Pound CAD went short. New Zealand yen didn't go long. Euro New Zealand went short. Euro yen's gone short. Euro CAD's gone short. Euro pound is imminent. Gold went long, which we were looking for. Bitcoin went long, which we were looking for. I'm in a trade on silver at the moment, and oil is sort of looking short. So we're about 75% there on them. But whether they give you confirmations, whether they give you entry points is a completely different matter. But GN is easy. GN's like, yeah, sometimes the easiest trades are the best ones. I mean, pick a reversal point, guys. It doesn't really get more straightforward than that. And then if you look at the staircasing aspect of a supportive zone, a resistance zone, you know, I've taken 17 EMA there and this little wick in the middle as saying, do you know what? That higher wick is going to be your entry point, and then the candle closes, you know. And then, James, you do see some red. You do see some red there as well, okay, before it goes. But the point is, you've found your signal. You've got your black and white signal to enter. Okay. The major thing with this candle isn't the fact that it's a shooting star, because actually it's a shooting star in consolidation, which is never really a good thing. The good thing with it is the wick just pops up a little bit more than it did here, a little bit more than it did here. That's what I like about it. So, you know, that was an entry point. I don't know where everyone else got in, but that's good. That's good. Close beneath this 17 EMA, bang. Next point of interest is now. It's been a very deep drop though. If you look at say we're retracement traders, sorry, RSI traders, they'll be coming on board with this now, probably.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's oversold. It must go up. Yeah, there's bound to have been those people, you know, that done the same here, based on the RSI being oversold on the 4 hour. They've lost it.
They'll even think that's divergence as well. Well, it is divergence. But...
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. The point is, though, and this is why indicators are so dodgy a lot of the time. Look at the divergence doesn't matter in that situation. The only thing that matters is the supply and demand. That's how people make money.
I was just going to say, my entry was aggressive Renko on a stop take. So that wick you just pointed out,
yeah.
When that closed, that was a Renko reversal with a stop take.
Yeah.
That was the perfect entry. And yeah, you were underwater for a little bit, and then it fell away, and then just kept falling away rather surprisingly.
Yeah. Yes, that's a nice one. I mean, like,
you see it when you do your Renko stuff. You know,
let's have a look. All right, where are we? Pound, Renko. I need to get the bloody spreadsheet up now. Oh, so much to do. All right. Quick reference. This is the best sheet ever, by the way. This is brilliant. Pound New Zealand, 18. I've lost my trade now. Okay, Pound New Zealand. Volatility gone down a little bit. It was 22 last week, 18. Easy. Bang. Oh, it's a white line. How's that happen? Beautiful thing. There it is. Looks about there. Looks about right.
Yeah, there you go.
There you are.
Look at the little stop take.
There's that wick.
Sneaky as hell, isn't it?
Just as good on Renko as it is on traditional, and given your aggressive nature on that, if you were to put your stop across the top, you're currently at 6%. You topped out at 8%. So looking at this then, okay, looking at reversal points or your next one, or let's say your lock 2, Okay, there's your reversal point that it's coming to. Okay, it's a bit ropey on Renko actually. It's not as clear cut. You can see it there quite nicely. A reversal, a retest up, a retest, a reversal there, a bit of consolidation there. So there is a point there. It is a point of interest. So on aggressive hold, for instance, okay, you'd still be in this, and until it pops above this level, you'd still be holding this. You might have taken some out at 2 to 1. I mean, your 2 to 1 is ridiculously short. It's there. That's easy 4%. But now you're looking for a continuation. So, if something pops up there, it may be of interest. Not the sweetest spot in the world, but it's an option. That's really nice though. As entries go, again, really nice. And notice this as well, okay, because this happens a lot. These entries here, okay, they wick out, but they don't touch the point at which you need it to touch, which would be the gap between this block and this block. Right, so you could have got in early there.
What's that? And add that 189.60 was my lock one.
That's
kind of that far.
8954.
No, so pretty much the same. Yeah. 6 pips away.
Yeah.
That's what I had. Interesting enough, the first one as well was on the Monday, and it's just one of those things you kind of go, am I going to get in on the Monday? Am I not going to get in on the Monday? And then I just held off a little bit. No idea why, but
I've missed so many trades over the last few weeks because I haven't got in on Monday. It's weird because it's like some weeks when I trade on Mondays they all go the wrong way, but when I don't trade on Mondays they all go the right way. So I can't. But then Renko doesn't care about time.
Mm-hmm.
If it gives you the confirmation, you've got to take a trade regardless of whether it's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think that's the right approach for me going forward. It's just I've just got so much to sort of squeeze into an actual. This is my exact trading plan. This is how I'm going to approach it. Because actually, if I look at everything I see on the overview and I don't pick a favorite or 3 or 4 favorites, and I just track what I see on the overview, going by the results, that's been the best way. That's been really, really rewarding. So I think that's the best approach. It just takes a bit more time.
I think I got, you can put it down to luck, but that first bar when it painted, it was 13 minutes past 5 in the morning, so I was asleep. So I would never have taken it because it would be asleep. just happened to be that then it set up for the next one. So the very first one, which is on the kind of Monday, I think the first or what?
I see where you're going with it. Yeah. I see
do you know what I mean? So the first reversal was actually when that bar closed. It was the second, and it was subtract 2. Yeah, so 13 minutes past 5 in the morning. Yeah. So you would have missed it unless you were up at that time.
So obviously that's the problem with such an aggressive strategy is if you get on something like that and you cut your stop loss too short, you're going to get taken out.
But then again, it doesn't mean to say that you always miss the trade. At that time in the morning as well, you would expect if any kind of manipulation is going to happen, it's going to be in the London session because those market maker guys are going to start trading at 8 o'clock UK time. So they're going to see that and go, well, there's bound to be stops above there. I'll have them first before sending it down. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, so the problem with this is you got this little, it's almost like a void here.
Yeah.
But there isn't much action. So if you were putting a stop there, you'd probably cover that off anyway. But it's debatable. I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to count that as a loss and then a win or not. I'll figure that out later. The thing is, you've got to remember about trades like this, spread. Because the spread on this is probably, for most people, 5 or 6 pips, which can be enough to stop you out if you don't cover yourself properly. So, there's a lot of things that should go into your trade plan. On a pair like GN, spread's probably one of them. Lose counted the amount of times, I've had something taken by spread, and I should know better by now. Yeah, you're all right. So yeah, I'm glad that's been working well for you, James. Jason's doing really well. I know Rob's doing really well. Martin's doing pretty good. We've got life. Rachel, all good. Life's been mad. Here, quietly watching, learning. Needed to take money out of my life account. Yeah, feel that all the time. Looking to get that all back next month. Restart the V4 approach. Not got rid of you yet. Been the best year so far with education. Awesome. Yeah, I'll tell you what. This year, it's been in PFX. It's been completely hectic. There's been so much change, you know, with my own trading strategy, with how the setup channel plays out, with how the Zooms play out, and it's because everyone's progressing. That's what drives the change. It's not your basic Q&As anymore. It's not, you know, generally it's not what is up here, you know, what is this, what is that. It's everything is a little bit more advanced now. So yeah, it's going well, and it's our month anniversary, year anniversary next month. Yay! It'd be interesting if I had the time to go back when we were doing the proper setups and find out exactly how much potential money that channel has made over the last year. It's been a bit out of place for the last month or two, so it's very difficult to do, and it's time consuming. I often feel guilty that, you know, I don't give enough time to people on this, but you've got to remember, I'm a one-man band here. I literally do everything. So if I don't get around to doing something quick enough, that's usually done. It's because I'm trying to fit and squeeze everything in. But I think we're making really good progress, so I'm happy. Anything else on your mind, James?
Not really. I've got myself a little short list of pairs to watch the rest of the week, going into next week.
Come along with your new strategies, eh?
Yeah, I'm just I keep looking back on trades like GBP CAV. I missed out a couple of days ago, and that hit every confirmation. If I took it 2 or 3 days ago, I'd be at least potentially 250 pips up. That's just from a hit on the 17 EMA and 100 and 200. Do exactly what I want it to do. I'd be potentially at more entries. I'd be well over 200 pips.
That's probably the trade we were looking at on the overview as well, isn't it? It's very similar to GN in a way. This
yeah, exactly the same. It just breaks retests on a daily line, hits a 17.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh,
try and find areas where it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Don't just look for, you know, wins. Also look for the losers, because that's how you get a proper practicing experience. But yeah, I mean, the trend is your friend, then the strategy is perfectly valid. Something like that.
Like for these pairs I've written down, I've got to wait a long time just for these to hit, just to reach this 17, you know. So I'm not. So
yeah. So, but if you can take up to 16%, or let's say it's probably now, I don't know, 12% or whatever, in one trade.
I can't believe it. I've never made, you know, just to finish 16% in 6 months. I've going from where I've been, you know, more losses than wins, rarely finish a week in profit, to wait for that trade, hit that trade. I took more entries. I took just one more entry at an appropriate place. I've maximised on that one trade. I just think that's great. Like, what is basically a day and a half. The kind of return I made on that, I was just very happy with that.
Welcome to PFX. This is what we do.
Yeah, I know.
10, 15, 20% trades. They do happen.
Well,
they've been happening quite regularly for some time. You know, they don't happen every week, but if you wait for the great setups, they will happen. And you make 16%, that's 8 losses. you don't have to win 50% of your trades, do you? If you're making a decent return on the ones you win.
That's it. If I can maximise with stack entries, appropriate stack entries, you know, when I'm in protecting my previous entries, etc. I don't need many trades. I can afford to wait 3 days for my next trade. I can make another 10% next week. I'm happy.
Yeah, even the great trade setups don't go the right way all the time, though.
No.
It's not all about win rate. I mean, if you look at the Blash spreadsheet, it's the V4 spreadsheet. You know, it's a 63% win rate. All right, that's very good. Yeah. But you wouldn't expect. Obviously, there's entries in here that are at like stupid o'clock in the morning and all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to say, yeah, all right, it's hit a point and it's moved from that point. You know, it's not about winning all the trades. This could be, 40% wins and you'd still be massively up. It could be 30% wins and you'd still be massively up. Because the point is, you let the manipulation happen in the most likely area or the peak area.
Yeah.
And then just put your stop loss straight above the top, or give yourself a little bit of room, like in a decision box sort of thing. I mean, V4 aggressive 370% up, just because it's an aggressive strategy. 2 to 1 is 188, and that's just saying, all right, take it down to a point and then see what happens at that point, as in that will dictate whether I stay in the trade or not. It's incredibly simple to do. It's more simple than Neil's stairs anyway. I've just seen him climb up there. I wouldn't be doing that with my back. It's about keeping it simple. You got your little set of rules. Keep it simple. Off you go. We know how well the EMA 17 works on the 4 hour, or the equivalent. What is that? The 68 on the 1 hour? It's going to be exactly the same. 68.
Yeah.
So trade what works. Trade on a trend. You're going to have at least 50% win rate doing that. And that's all we've said right from day one. If you find the appropriate place to enter, you will have a 50% win rate, and you will more than likely be more than 2 to 1 because you're catching the follow through.
So this is what I said at the very beginning. I'm like a 1 hour break retest trader, but I was just doing it any old place. Now I've got about 4 confirmations of just the area to do that in. When I took my second entry on GN, I just thought no brainer. I'm just going to go for it. I've got all the EMAs really separate, a strong downtrend. I've got like perfect stacking opportunity. I took it and I was about 5 pip drawdown, and it just dropped from that point onwards, and that's given me an extra, I don't know, 6% or whatever, 4%. And I was just like, oh, wicked.
The thing with stacking so quickly is you can lose all the profit you've made already quite quickly as well. But yeah, you're right. This is my list that's on the wall behind me, behind the computer. I have my little mindset list.
Oh, yeah.
So, I am a warrior. My analysis is golden. Believe in yourself. You're gifted. See. Okay. You proved to be a marvel against all the odds. If I don't use a stop loss, I'm gambling. Common sense dictates trades I enter. Remember your lines in the sand. I don't need to watch trades because I believe. Trust no one but yourself. Your methods are proven. I just need to have a quick read of that when I doubt myself. And all is good. All is good. I am trading again now, not on V4, but I've taken some trades out. They're going all right. I like to be quite secretive about trades I'm in, because people tend to get in trades that I'm in, so I don't tend to say until the end of the week. All right, what else is going on?
Going to have a quick swatch at EG.
Yeah.
What's it currently doing?
Oh, are you in? Did you get in that?
I did, yeah.
I don't know. I've not looked. I don't know what's going on with you, Jay.
It did, yeah. It was a V4 entry again, so I'm tracking it with that.
Oh, it's a nice flag. That. It's a nice flag. I do like
It's
that.
a nice flag. There's a couple of nice wicks. There's some price action traditional candlestick wise as well. But I waited for the
Yeah, it's a pretty good entry there traditionally, and then it's sort of drifted out a little bit.
It's kind of drifted a little bit, yeah. But we'll see, because it goes quiet. Even it's what now? Shit, it's 8:30, isn't it? So yeah, probably.
Quiet time is approaching. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But I thought that was quite a nice entry as well. If you look at the bigger picture wise as well. And
yeah, it looks good. It's below that major area. Right, what have we got here then? EJ.
So I kind of forgot. I sort of forgot to look at it, and then when you put it back up on the post, the setups channel, I was like, oh, I must go and look at that, and went, hang on. Just let me set a few alerts here.
EJ. Is this
still that huge wick as well. So, what have you got? Sorry, EJ and Varenko's. Hang on.
What am I using here?
Go back to BBS.
I'm on 10. And
Nine's aggressive from the sheet.
Is it?
Well, I think it was. Actually, unless I've looked at it on bloody sheet.
10.
Oh, cock.
I did update this, didn't I? I did last updated 30th of June. So
yeah, maybe I've refreshed.
On here I've got 10.
Okay, I think mine maybe needs a wee refresh.
So actually, I haven't got an entry on that yet.
Oh well, I'm in. Damn it! Never mind.
Yeah, so it's floating around at the point of that top. It's amazing, isn't it? One pip,
One pip, yeah.
One pip block size different makes such a big difference.
Just checking my sheet. I'm sure I downloaded the latest version. Maybe I didn't.
Unless my sheet hasn't updated. So this is 9. Hang on, that doesn't look right.
That doesn't look right. What the hell's going on there?
No, that's not.
No, that's not.
Oh, hang on. It's a yen pair, isn't it? So the settings are different.
Okay. That's going up. What the hell's going on there?
Okay, there you are. Yeah, so there's your reversal.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Took a minute there. So it's a nice point. It's a perfectly valid trade. You know, if it stops out, it stops out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? So
I'm going to have to check that now. I'm going to have to go on the actual Dropbox and find.
Yeah, I definitely downloaded it.
To see if the one I've updated is actually updating on the. Oh wait.
It was because we fixed that. Remember? I think.
Yeah, but whether it's then uploaded properly, that's. I know the sheet I've got's correct because it says 10. But
yeah, mine says the 24th of June, so maybe I've not put the latest one.
That might be my bad.
Yeah, 9 and 13.
Yeah, so it says 30th of June on here. So it is 10.
Yeah.
But it's.
And it's now updated, yeah. So if I hit the refresh data on the sheet I was working on, remember the one you gave me, it's refreshed the data from the website and it's now changed to 10. So aggressive's now 10 and conservative's 14, and it was 9 and 13 until I hit the refresh data.
Yeah, so
that's.
I don't think it really matters. It's a decent trade anyway. Just because there's not an entry here. So 9 and 30.
Yeah, there's still good price action on the 1 hour as well. So.
Yeah, so traditionally, it looks very nice. On Renko, it looks very nice as well. And also the fact that we're looking for Euro shorts. You know, I think Euro Swiss franc is very nice at the moment. If you take away that line, you know, I think this looks very nice for a short.
Yeah, I'd gotten a letter set on CAD Swiss, but it's kind of drifted higher as well.
Yeah, I noticed that.
See how that goes. Should maybe just check my settings now on that. So.
Yeah, so This is a difficult one because the trend line that goes down it's so spiky through it. So there could be quite a big reversal area. Yeah, if it does react here, there's going to be quite a big reversal area because it's very, very volatile at the top of this area. So we'll wait and see. There's where we traded last year, Neil. See?
Oh yeah, there he is.
Come a long way since then. A lot of CAD Swiss francs since then.
Although now I'd rather buy it than sell it, I must admit, because I've got such bigger lot sizes. I'm like, what's the rollover? 12 quid? Come on. Yeah, you want to buy that one. It's the biggest kind of differential one, isn't it? With -7 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping to hold on to my my GN and stuff as well, because that was a positive carry on the short. So yeah, I got paid like 10 quid or something. Hang on, was it 4 quid and
every little else,
3 quid or something? Just overnight. I was looking at it going, where did that? Oh, that was the carry, wasn't it? Yeah, of course.
Every little up. That spreadsheet is actually is useful for people that don't know so much what the carry is or what it does. If you want to check, where is it? Is it on here?
It's in your tools. Was it the top FX? See the FX info at the top right next to the shop. All right, there you go.
Oh yeah, this isn't really the updated way up.
Oh, so you're going to indeed. Well, that works well.
Interest rates don't change that often, but basically what we're saying is, like, if you're in CAD Swiss franc, it's got a 2.45% interest long carry, which means if you're in a buy, you're going to get your swap fees are going to be positive. If you're in a sell, they're going to be quite substantially negative. Yeah, so that's what it means. It makes it easier to hold long-term trades, and USD Swiss franc's the big one. It's 3.2. Pound New Zealand is -1. So if you're in, it's got a short carry, which means you're going to get paid 1% interest-ish if you're short for holding that trade, especially on a Wednesday, because Wednesday's where the swaps generally get dished out, as far as I'm aware. I think it's Wednesday. So yeah, that's what that is. All right, what else have we got? None of you sell Euro Ord or Pound Ord or?
I missed all of them. Yeah.
They're all really nice.
They were good as well. Yeah, I totally missed them.
Really nice.
Not sure if it was a time factor thing as well. Like it was.
It may have been. I mean, I'm looking in hindsight now, but I knew what I was looking for. Yeah, so this no trade blue box Pound Aussie. Okay, that's why it's blue on the up here. Obviously, there's a fake out happened previously. Got to wait for that area to get knocked out first. Okay, so when price pushed slightly above, it's just waiting for the breakdown, and then EMA 17 swap is quite nice. Wick out to the top, quite nice. To say take an entry there, that's a pretty good short entry, and then that's easy trade. Very nice. That's probably my favourite entry that I've seen so far. Euro Ord as well, not nice traditionally, but with Renko this would have been a belter. There's your push up, your gap down, pushed all the way back up to the supply. Easy trade there on Renko. I haven't looked yet, but yeah, that's going to be very nice as well. And that's dropped like a stone since.
Yeah, just not. Yeah, so the British pound. Yeah, 5 a.m.-ish, 6 a.m.-ish. I think I was having a lie in that day.
I'm usually up.
I missed that one. Yeah, but I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But you don't get. I mean, that's that's part of the game. You don't get always loads to choose from this week.
What you're doing is proving. So you're in New Zealand again, 10 o'clock in the morning. That was the 4-hour rejection off the EMA.
Yeah, that was a better one, wasn't it?
Fairly standard entry. That's very, very nice. Again, that's going to look fairly nice on Renko. So there's 3 for a start, and the others haven't really given any confirmations. Like the Euro Pound, it just keeps exhausting. This is actually the first point at which it's really maybe giving you an entry is what's happening here, because there's another breakdown. It's just started to drop. The problem with that is, you look left, the bottom of your orange yellow box is still there. It's still in that structure. That there, if you remember, was the first V4 trade. Was that retest? I can't remember if you remember that. That was on Theresa May's first time she tried to get that deal through. That's what that was. So yeah, it's just starting to drop, but I'm not going to have the confidence in this until it properly beats all this bullshit here. So likelihood for a trade here, I mean, you could trade it down now if you wanted. You've had enough breakdown, you've had enough exhaustion, but I'll probably wait for that, to be honest. Yeah, I'll give this a bit of time. Even on V4, I don't think that's worth trading at this point. Consolidated move up, you're going to have V4 confirmation all over the place. It's going to be brick wick bullish, brick wick reversal, brick wick bullish, brick wick reversal. It's not going to be nice. So you want to give yourself some kind of something to say, do you know what? I'm going to wait. This is it on Renko 6. So let's have a look. What should it be? Euro GBP 7 this week.
It's been in a kind of 600 pip range for about 2 years, hasn't it, really? Or longer than that. Even.
Yeah.
Going back to July. Jesus, 2016. It's not my favourite pair, to be honest.
No. You get moves like this all the time. And this is why we all despise Euro Pound. It is turning.
Yeah. It even looks terrible, do you know what I mean? It doesn't even look nice.
Yeah.
I know that's nothing at all to go on, but you just look at it and you go, ah.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're picking tops and stuff, and you're saying, yeah, all right, it's exhausting up, it's going up, it's coming down, it's going up, it's coming down. There's going to be a hell of a lot of money lost on something like this. Through people guessing. So when it's like that, if it's on Renko, let's have a look at the conservative functions. It's 9, so it's not that much higher. See if it irons out any of that, give you something better. And it doesn't really, does it?
Because the trade we had marked out sort of beginning of May, it got back to that demand area at the bottom of that 600 pip range. Obviously went up a little bit and then tested, and then from there it rose pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, you just got this kind of extended daily consolidation of just up, down, but kind of slow grind up.
It's just horrible.
I think it's just trying to get back to that, back in that supply area, and then it might do the exact opposite and just like drop really quickly again.
Yeah.
If you can catch it, it'll be good,
If you get a trend like that and then exhaustion like this, I mean, what you're looking at is, if there's exhaustion to the extent of this, you would expect a big downwards move once all that energy is released. So it is a good setup, but if an entry now is risky, it's a fairly good entry, Renko wise. If I was looking at this on traditional, and then you go into Renko and say that pretty much your best shot at this, has happened. If you wanted to get like proper, decent entry, you could say, yeah, all right. Traditionally, I've seen it break down again from this point. It's back there. I can use that as an entry if I want. 2 breakdowns, massive exhaustion, and you can take the risk, because if it follows through, then you're looking at massive trade down. If it doesn't, you lose 2% or you break even. That's the risk, and that's sort of the edge playing out. It's giving you an opportunity, but it's not the best opportunity in the world. But it's good enough you're pretty much at break even. For instance, if you took that, but that's you can't trade that just on its own like this. That comes from looking at traditional breakdown. So we say V4 looks so simple, but it's based on this. It's based on traditional price action. It's important to remember that.
I was going to say that chart there go and stick your hunters on your 17 and your 53 on that
What
4-hour
one?
chart you had.
The 17's literally ranging in the uptrend.
And then go and chuck on the 53 for fun as well. See, I have been looking at this as well, but for me, I want to see it below there.
Yeah,
see
so
that breakdown, and then when it comes back to retest,
it's got to break down, yeah.
because at the moment it could just go back down to the 53 and then just bounce off it again, as it has done God knows how many times.
Yeah, so a way of mitigating that risk is to turn them off and use
Turn them off, yeah. Turn them off.
The 100 in this instance would be much nicer because it's not really touched it, but it's had that big bounce off it. It's sort of had a bounce there as well. So mitigating the risk of saying once it's crossed, it's bearish, because actually once it has crossed, it probably is bearish. And then you say, yeah, all right, it can swap, and then it can probably retrace back to this point, at which time is a more sensible area to get in.
That's what I'd probably be. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? If it just drops and just keeps dropping.
But at the same time, you wouldn't have the confidence to buy a trend like this either. This isn't a buying trend, even though you can see it's been going up for ages there. I mean, the actual bullish momentum stops, pretty much when it breaks through here. That's not really bullish momentum. That's exhaustion. Weekly, daily exhaustion. Yeah, and you can see that in the wicks pretty much. It is likely to reverse. So it's not really a buying trade for me. So I'd rather wait for the selling option, which seems to be the best long-term strategy on that.
Certainly one of those things that there's easier trades there out there. If you see what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I tend to find if I keep staring at something, I'll end up talking myself into a trade that maybe doesn't even exist.
Again, this is one of the
reasons. I feel that way about this.
It's one of the reasons why I don't limit myself to 3 or 4 pairs, because if that was one of my pairs, that's been untradeable for about 3 or 4 weeks. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I like to expand out and do loads of pairs. But I think part of that is being able to look at stuff so quickly and then move on. Because if I look at something and it's either got a trade or it hasn't. Yeah, in much the similar way to you see on the overview. Is there a trade there? No. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. I know a lot of people don't have that ability yet, but they will.
It's definitely good to develop that, because, like I say, you can get paralysis of analysis, isn't it?
You can. It really doesn't help.
Talking yourself into something, and then you kind of reflect back on it later and go like, what the hell was I doing? There was never you glance at it.
Yeah.
How many days later or months later, and you go, what the hell was that? You do a monkey see, monkey do or something, and you go, and that's never a trade.
It's like,
well, that's just the way of learning, isn't it?
You take this GN trade as an example. Like, I know James took it. I know you took it, Neil. I know Rob took it. Well, I think Rob took it anyway, and Rob took your award as well. So there's 3 of the 4 people that talk often in the Telegram group that got in that trade. I don't know how many other people did. It might be lots of people. But the point is, there's 40 pairs. If you can make, let's say, take your example, 16%. Right? I mean, most people wouldn't have got 16%, but let's say you can make 16% on one trade across 40 pairs. Why do you need to spend time analyzing everything? It either looks good or it doesn't. You don't need to go in there and go, oh yeah, does this. Does it look good enough that it's going to give you confidence over the next few days? If I see something and it's like, oh, that's a good head and shoulder setup, I'll watch that. If I see something and it's just like a bit of sideways movement, inaccurate range, what's the point in digging any deeper? I'll just move on to the next one. So I think that's a part that people struggle with as well, is finding where the trades are. And that's why I try to help with the overview thing. But at a point, you're going to have to go and find them, with your own trading style. And similar way to what James is doing. It's like, all right, these match my trading strategy. They're not necessarily what Pardo's looking at. That doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm trying my own strategy. I'm trying to become consistent using my own strategy. That's the whole point of this group. Yeah, I'm here to help, but at the end of the day, I don't trade exactly the same way as anyone else. I mean, I trade very, very similar to Neil, but other than that, you know, Jason's got his own way, Rob's got his own way. No one's actually trading V4 other than me and Neil, really. Alex is demoing it. I don't know how well he's doing with it. Rachel says she wants to come in on it. But it's, you know, traditionally, you're getting those awesome trades. You don't need Renko. That's just my way forward. It still uses everything that's traditional about your version 3, like Euro GBP, breaking down, testing, whatever, and taking that onto V4. But if you wanted to take that trade on Euro GBP right at the top there, you could have done that traditional. You know, there's nothing there that says you can't trade that based on traditional. You know, you've got those suggestions at the top. That's just as valid as the Renko setup. Yeah, if you saw that as breakdown of this exhaustion, good point to enter, because actually, you know, if it rejects there, it's probably not going to. The likelihood is it's not going to make a higher high because you've seen the rejection. So traditionally, it's a good entry for, you know, an aggressive entry, but a good entry into the downtrend. It's the same as Renko. Yeah. So that's what I love about what James is doing, is that it's not necessarily the same, but it's what gives him the confidence, and that's what James has been struggling with for ages.
Big time. Yeah, long time.
So whatever gives you the confidence. You know, what me and Neil are doing works very, very well, but doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It's different.
I mean, obviously, I'm extremely early into this little testing and this little.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Extremely, but I'm just happy that I can scan through pairs and say, right, not interested, not interested. Oh, this one looks good. I'm going to wait. I'll write that down, and it's only taken me, like, I've only got to look at to see if candles are above or below a line to even be of interest. And I can just get on with, you know, like today, I only checked my phone a couple of times. You know, that's a lot. For,
a couple of times, about 750.
No, I was just, once I got stop profits in, I thought, I was just really pleased, you know.
Yeah, you're doing well, man.
It's a long time coming.
What's going to be interesting is seeing your journey now. It's quite similar to what Jason went through, actually. Jason's obviously come through that and is doing really well now. How many more people go through that same stage? You know, and how many more people find that in the end they come onto V4? So it's going to be interesting, because at the moment I'm trying to split between the two. It makes it more time consuming because they're just as good as each other, really. But your confidence comes from your lines or whatever. My confidence comes from just something as black and white as a block. That's all, you know, that's my confidence. That works for me. But then, you know, you go to someone else and they're like, well, yeah, but I need to see what's within that block, and I need to see these. Does it give you the rejection? Does it give you that hit on the EMA 17? You know, whatever. Because you go anywhere else and they say, this is how to do it. You do it like exactly like this. All right, this is what works. Everything works. It's like RSI. Everything works. But if you trade in the wrong area, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work to the degree that someone tells you it's going to work if you trade it in the wrong area. That area always comes down to buying low and selling high. You know, 90% of the time, or let's say 80% of the time, which is about the average win rate.
If you trade RSI only, I used to find myself always trading against the trend. It's just what, like, when
that's what RSI does. Yeah.
Yeah, it just told me like what not to do, in a way, in many ways.
The thing, RSI is a very good indicator. You don't see it on many of my charts because actually I think it's sort of a contrarian indication. I think RSI drags people into trades that against the trend when maybe they shouldn't be. Jason uses it very well in what he does. But If you go on a 4-hour chart or a daily, you'll see every time it's overbought or oversold, yeah, it will very, very often reverse. But especially on the daily, you're looking at a reversal that happens over 200 or 300 pips, you know. So where's your entry point? Are you going to put a 300 pip stop loss? It works, but when you look closer, you see massive gaps to enable the trade to turn.
It indicates like retracements more than the actual trend, doesn't it? Really. If something's trending up, if it hits like an 80 RSI, yeah, it's likely to bounce. It doesn't mean it's going to reverse and go 200 pips the other way. It may quite often, in my experience, quite often it will just continue the way it was going to go anyway.
Yeah, so is, you know, RSI is interesting. It's the tool that everyone that starts trading uses, because it's very easy to look at. What you'll find is one of the decent ways to use RSI is, this probably isn't the best chart for it, when it is trending, okay, when it does reverse and you're on the 4-hour here, the reversals will often come to between 55 and 60, and in the other direction they'll often come to 40-ish, so that's a bit lower, 33 to 40. So actually, I find the most useful way of using it is actually to take out, you know, is to look at maybe the 40 and the 60 range when it comes to retracements on like the 4-hour for those deeper retracements. Or if you go on the 1 hour, then yeah, it can be useful to find those oversold or overbought, but it will likely react. But you know, the chances are it will move further against you before it turns. I mean, that's an awesome one, but it's awesome in hindsight. You know, it's awesome in hindsight. I wish I took that trade. Boom! Demand. We sold that. Do you remember? Sold it for the top. That was awesome trade. And then Rob traded it from, I think, this flag here. It was a beautiful little thing. Rob traded that flag. I remember him posting it. It was like, it's awesome. But yeah, RSI, it's not what it's cracked up to be, but it's useful as a confirmation, not a black and white signal. People used to buy and sell trades just because price was overbought or oversold.
That was me.
It has to be in a certain area. Then you can use RSI as a confirmation. If it's not, let's say on the hourly on a 4-hour trade, if it's not overbought or oversold, it's likely to push to an overbought or oversold area first. So you can use that as an indication, but it's never a signal. Never a signal. It's like that GN trade we looked at. How many buyers would there have been based on how low that RSI was and how divergent that bottom was?
And that would have been me. A few months ago, that would just been me. Buy. I know.
That would have dragged thousands of retail traders in. And then all the banks have to do, we're going short now. We're at the supply. All we need to do is push price up a little bit, drag even more people in that think it's breaking out, and then we'll just dump it.
That's why I just think that 100 and 200 are so, just keeps you out of those losing trades. You just look at 100 and 200, you think, oh, since it crossed, it's moved 600 pips down. Why am I going to buy into it?
Yeah. So for me, you're looking at things in exactly the right way. With a clear mind and a mechanical movement. I mean, I would trade like that if I could be bothered to wait. Sometimes I know that I'm quite an impatient person, but I also know that I don't mind losing trades. So, I'm quite happy for this to come down, bounce off the 200 and then retrace onto the 100 and then take the entry. But for you to trade this down, you've got to wait for that to happen, then that, and at that point these may have crossed, at which point you can get in. So I love the mechanics of your strategy, and actually it's a really good way to trade because you have completely, you know, let it reverse.
I feel like I've let the markets do the hard work. I'm catching it late, but I just feel like it's just more likely to win. That's what. Obviously, I'm going to think that, but I just think it's already gathered all that momentum. Yes, you've caught it from the top, but if I can catch it in the middle with like a 20 pip stop loss, or 15 pip stop loss with a nice break retest, I've still made the same profit. But
Yeah.
I have to wait longer, maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So yeah, that's your perfect trade opportunity, really. Well, that's a really good one because you've got the 100, 200 cross there. Then you've got the bullish candle off the supply demand area. So that's one. You know, we may have even traded that actually because I remember a trade similar to that came and hit my stop profit before going up. So I think it was that one. That's really, really nice. That's like my way of using the 100 and 200.
Mm.
Yeah, and we've all got, you know, our own ways of doing it. They are incredibly powerful. You know, this consolidated uptrend, you know, there's plenty of movement off that 100. You know, this movement off the 200 here, you know, rejects, closes above, you know, the support resistant area. There's a trade there. You know, you catch that move. So it all works well. Having the patience to do it like that that's your job because that's your strategy.
That's what's going to test me because I might just have to wait and wait and wait. And I'll just see how it goes.
And then losing them anyway.
Yeah, wait all that time and then lose.
Yeah, so you're not out of the woods yet.
No, far from it.
So it's going to take a bit of time. But if you're going through each pair and you're saying that's close to receiving what I need to see, that's close to receiving what I need to see, trade them for the week. You might get a 60%. You might have two losers at 2% each. You still make 12%. Yeah, that's the way you got to view it. Losing doesn't matter, really, as long as you win occasionally. All right, anything else? Cool. Well, I'm going to have an interesting evening going through 3-4 back testing after I finish with the fish tanks. So unless there's nothing else, we'll call it a day there.
Good man. Enjoy your fish.
Oh, I will, mate. My core